Blood red moon lights my way. Angel found themselves me. Life and death.
Alright, so after many hours and minutes of speculating, if you're me, and I feel dumb, it's been, somebody reported it July 10th, but it only had like a few viewers, so like it just was announced public now. Seeing some of these people react to it is funny as well. We'll get into that later on. Georgia's 12-14 game in Atlanta is now known. I am on record saying that if it was not a ACC school, it would be a more smaller school. That pins on to be correct. As Georgia will take on the Grand Canyon Antelopes in the holiday hoops giving event December 14th in State Farm Arena in Atlanta. This might be the first time Georgia has played Grand Canyon. Somebody said poor Georgia had to play a fake school. And I was like, oh well. but now we know. And you know, I've gave my opinion on it. I've looked at a few teams before it was announced today that Georgia could possibly play. And it feels very good that now the game is now out there. I am very excited. This is a great mid-major matchup for the Dawgs, as it's not a team that's dominant, but it's a team that is rising in dominance. If you also look at it, it's a team from the WAC. Georgia does not play teams in the Western Athletic Conference often at all, so it's an SEC versus WAC showdown, which is very cool as well. But you know, all the speculation now is finally done. For weeks I've been looking at this game. Almost now it almost probably been a full month and a half now we've looked at this game. Somebody reported it July 10th, and I just saw that today as they mentioned it in the comments, but nothing was confirmed yet. But now everything is confirmed. This will be game 5 of a 5-game night, I believe, in Atlanta. They're having a lot of games in Atlanta that day, so you know, I'm very excited that this game has finally been announced. Rocco Miller said Georgia and Grand Canyon are finalizing an agreement to play a neutral site game on Saturday, December 14th inside State Farm Arena in Atlanta. The game will be a part of the 5th annual Holiday Hoops Giving event, according to multiple sources. I've read some of the comments down on it. Inside the Canyon was the person July 10th who reported it first. Hearing that GCU and Georgia will match up in December at State Farm Arena. Big opportunity for both programs. The Lopes will look to add a Power 5 win, and the Bulldogs will look to capitalize their recent success. Now this is a game, I mean, Georgia absolutely cannot walk into Atlanta and think that they're just going to win this game. Grand Canyon, I'm sure, is just as talented as Georgia, and you know what happens. Georgia's lost to Gardner-Webb, Georgia's lost to East Tennessee State, Georgia's lost to Wofford. I mean, this is going to be a game that Georgia will not be able to sleep on. And you look in the past, Georgia, look at last year, Georgia almost lost to High Point, almost lost to North Florida until they pulled away later on in the game. But this is not a game Georgia can afford to do that on. So Georgia and Grand Canyon in the Holiday Hoops Giving tournament. It finally feels good to know who Georgia will be playing in this game, because for days, for weeks now, I've looked at it, and I did say if it was not an ACC team, it would be a smaller mid-major like team. I was not expecting the WAC. I was maybe expecting a team maybe like Old Dominion or something like that. A team that drive would not be as much, but High Point, Grand Canyon does it, and they pulled the trigger on it. Now we'll be playing Grand Canyon Saturday, December 14th in Atlanta. So there you go. All rumors have been put to bed. We finally know who Georgia will play the 14th. That unknown game is no longer unknown, as Georgia will take on the Grand Canyon Antelopes on Saturday, December 14th. There's not been a time for that game. They have 5 or 6 games playing that day in State Farm Arena, so chances are it probably, known as Georgia and Grand Canyon, it might be a earlier game maybe, because you have two teams. You have Georgia who's not the best basketball school, and you have Grand Canyon, a team nobody knows. They would probably want to put that game early, I believe. So maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. But yeah, Georgia, Grand Canyon in Atlanta. The Dawgs now know their unknown game, and that's pretty cool because we have literally watched this just like explode in front of us. Like, I was wondering for months, or a month now, for weeks, who it was going to be, and now we finally know. It is the Grand Canyon. If I'm correct, this might be the first time they've played. I know for a fact they hadn't played in football, so absolutely cool. Let's do some first, right? Because this is going to be a historic year for Georgia. We're going to take a step forward to a step we have not been in years. So that's a good way to start it. But I'll just say it one more time. Georgia will face Grand Canyon December 14th in State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Georgia's unknown game, you can now cross it over as we now know who it is. So go Hoop Dogs.
The unbelievable. They beat Arkansas and go wire to wire to win the SEC tournament.